Welcome to the Rest of Us podcast. Happy February. Today is February
3rd.
But tomorrow when this comes out, it'll be February 4th. So hopefully you paid rent. And if not, this is your moment at 6 a.m. to find out that you probably have a 25% fine for not doing it on time. It is also Black History Month. It is the month of Valentine's Day.
Not anymore.
It's not?
No, I think they took away Black History Month. They just like...
There's no way. Look that up. I don't even believe
I'm pretty sure
you.
they did.
I don't think that's a thing. Last year was one of the first years that Lucas had actually ever gotten a reservation for me at a restaurant. And then he also gifted me with jewelry after 16 years of being together. The first piece of jewelry that he's ever gifted me that is other than my wedding ring and engagement ring. Because like sometimes people get earrings and stuff. And I've been a person who like normally doesn't wear a ton of jewelry, but he gifted me for the first time. So if you are listening to this and you're like, oh, should I book a reservation for my wife for Valentine's Day and get her a present? The answer is yes. Probably. I think.
I was wrong.
Yeah. Oh, wait, say that again. That was beautiful. Honey, say that again.
Do not believe things on the internet. I was like, this is unbelievable. And I just looked it up, and it was unbelievable because it's not true.
Not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
No, because they renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
I definitely thought Black History Month would have gone before the name of the Gulf of Mexico.
That was crazy.
It is. But so it is still Black History Month. It is the month of Valentine's Day. Lucas and I, we both don't believe in astrology. And I have several male friends in jiu-jitsu that always complain about going on dates with women who are into astrology. I'm not into astrology. I'm like, I only know my sign. I don't even know like anything else.
I'm only into it whenever good things are going to be given to me.
Yeah. So
and
what did you read?
What?
So Lucas and I are both Capricorns.
That's right.
We both just had our birthdays. What was it saying about our forecast?
Jupiter is expected to transit into Capricorn around May of 2025. The exact date may vary slightly based on astrological calculations, but it will be approximately in mid-May. Okay? And what does that mean? Hold on. What's that mean? Jupiter in Capricorn brings a blend of expansion and practicality. Here's how it might influence the zodiac sign. A career and ambitions. This transit enhances the ambition and drive, making you more focused in achieving your goals. And you might have yourself setting higher standards and working diligently through them. And it also has prosperity. So.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, he is a believer.
I'm like, I'll take it. It's also, it says it's also about a lot of luck. So it's an extreme time of luck for us.
There was something a couple years ago when we were talking to a friend who is super into astrology, and it was some planet doing something, and like, I don't remember if it was like a transit or like a retrograde or like, I don't know anything about astrology, but I just remember it was like, oh, this thing's changing. And then for us, it basically said that Capricorns would have experienced like everything not being that great since basically the recession. And we're like, yeah, that checks out. But I think that's the entire millennial experience. It's not exclusive to Capricorns. And then our friend was like, ooh, I'm ready for some change. She's also cuspy Gen Z. She's not actually. I think she is a millennial, like a younger millennial. And then we looked into it, and her sign, it said she was about to like go into like years of poverty and stuff like that. And she's like, I'm not. She's like, I don't claim that or something like that. Then she moved away from it. But
yeah, it also says that you will see you will see improvements in your financial situation, whether through a raise, investment, or other means of income.
That's great. There was something too about Capricorns.
Gotta love that, guys. Gotta love that.
That was like, if you like pursue a creative passion, it'll go really well for you. And as someone who's been pursuing creativity for more than basically all of my adulthood, which is 18 years now.
This is hey, like I said, don't stop doing your auditions because you might book something now.
It just hit me
in May.
It just hit me that I have been an adult for as long as I was not an adult. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't feel any way about it because I kind of still feel like I'm a kid.
I am doing the math right?
Like
I'm 36.
I have some aches and pains, but I don't feel like I'm a I'm an adult. I still feel like a...
I feel very adult every time we do taxes, though.
Oh, that's true. I do feel like an adult when I do taxes.
Yeah, when I schedule an appointment with TSA, I'm like, okay.
Oh, that reminded me. Yeah, I got to do that.
I thought we did it online.
You have to do schedule your visual appointment where they have to look at you and be like, hey.
Oh, I forgot about that. Lucas and I, after having TSA pre-check for 5 years, it finally expired and we had to travel without it. And let me tell you, the way you poor people have to take your shoes off through airport security, I hated it, man. I also had to pull my laptop out.
Sucks.
It was so bad.
The line
also,
is like 3 times longer.
It is. Well, before, I used to think that the line was just as long.
Nah, it's
but
longer.
You're basically paying a tax for it because you have to pay for TSA pre-check.
Yeah.
But then I realized the biggest benefit is that you don't have to take your shoes off.
Yeah.
That's like the thing. Is
or
like,
your belt. You don't have to do your belt either.
You're not slowed down. And also, when we went through regular TSA opposed to TSA pre-check, our bags got searched both times because of stuff in my camera equipment. It was like my speed light and something else. I don't remember. And so because we had a camera bag, never gets flagged through TSA pre-check. The same bag got like flagged all 4 times we had to go through security. And I was like, what the hell? So we definitely, the first thing we did when we got home was renew it. But now apparently they have to look at us in person.
They had to do it the first time.
I don't know why you would have to do it 5 years later.
You know what's really crazy is the fact that I can go through the metal detector at TSA pre-check with my shoes on and my belt on and everything's fine. But when I don't pay them $120, I have to go through the regular one. But that one, you can't wear a belt and you can't wear shoes. Isn't that weird to you?
Yeah.
Like, how is it that when I give you $120, I can walk through the same exact system? Because let's face it, they didn't get an upgraded scanning system in one section. They have the same system on both. So you're just walking through the same technology, and they're asking you to do more on one side, and you give them $120. You just pay to play.
But
you grease
honestly,
them palms, and they're just gonna let you waltz on through with your clothes on.
Yeah, is it because that you, I don't know, stopped in, paid the fee, answered 6 questions? Would they look at you and be like, this guy, definitely a terrorist? Like, at what point do they think that terrorists wouldn't pay to put you through TSA pre-check?
Yeah, like wouldn't terrorists be like, hey, you can skip all this extra mumbo jumbo if you give them $120?
Yeah, I wish I understood it more. I've always just seen it as a tax, and then also you're just giving them more permission. Because it's a tax. But I just am like, if I wanted to be a terrorist, I feel like what you would do is just pay the tax for the TSA pre-check, and that way you could send them in with their like bombs and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how that
I don't
works.
like doing it. I think it's stupid.
Speaking of flying, holy crap, this week helicopter flew into a plane.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Woke up, that was on the news. Lucas actually, this is crazy. Not to give credibility to everything that Donald Trump has said, but Lucas actually tried to be an air traffic controller more than 10 years ago.
I did, and I applied on usajobs.gov, and I applied not just once, but twice. I also had multiple references from other air traffic controllers that referred me.
And he also had flight hours because he was flying at the time.
I was trying to get my license, and
he was also like working on an associate's degree. Which
I had my associate's degree.
Oh, you had the associates.
And I was working on my bachelor's, and I applied for the job because like I'll stop going to school to get this. I'll get this job, and then I'll go back and finish later.
Yeah, and he was like, I could go and get the air traffic controller certificate, but his friends who did air traffic controller,
they look at it all the same.
Yeah, he's like, they look at it
as long as you have an associate's and you're applying. And you got your degree, they'll look at the same. Like, yeah, it gives you a couple extra points towards it, but it really wasn't as
like you had
significant.
veteran education.
I was a veteran. Yeah, they're like, you're going to make that up because you have your veteran status and stuff. And I was like, okay.
And this is when the beginning of the policies changed, and then he was declined.
Yeah.
And then now
there's a class action
lawsuit that some people might have been too white. And it's crazy because Lucas had applied for this job and had this at the beginning of when this was all happening.
I remember who I was talking to. And I can't remember.
This is like circa 2011.
So long ago.
It was 11 or 12.
I just remember having
like
a conversation with somebody, and they're like, "You're not going to get that job." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you're white." And I
Like
was like,
straight
I don't
up,
understand.
not even candy coating it
Yeah,
or
there was
making it.
somebody
Yeah.
who worked in aviation and did that. It's like, that's not what they're doing. They're not hiring white people right now. And I was just like, that's kind of fucking weird. I'm like, isn't that racist? And they're like going, well, no, it's not. And I'm like, I mean, yes, it is. But I get what you're saying. Like, no, because this is like trying to correct the things of the past. But I'm like, why do I have to suffer on that? And so I lost out on
Also,
that.
Lucas would have just been really good at that job. He was good under stress. He had military experience. He had been in a war zone. He could fly a plane, like all of the things. I would not be able to do that job, and they would have let me go through.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a couple things they would have let me do,
You're
and I
woman,
couldn't do.
you're a Filipino woman. Okay, you're in. You, back of the line. Okay, I'll go back.
Yeah, we just look at it into the past, and we're like, I never thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that like a decade later, and it was so crazy because my pretty conservative father made a comment that will always stick with me. And he looked at Lucas and said, "This won't matter until planes start falling out of the sky."
I was like, oh no, they're doing it.
And
It's falling out
hold
of
on,
the sky.
hold on. Sometimes my dad can be very dramatic about things.
Yeah,
So I just heard
that's
that,
true.
and I was just like, okay,
I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, 10 years have gone by, and only now are passenger planes falling out of the sky. So I just remember when we said that, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then also, subsequently, I was like, that's crazy. But then now that's like 10 years later, what I saw, all I heard was, and this will matter when planes start falling out of the sky. So apparently, well, there was going to be like a pilot shortage even back then. And then apparently there's like an air traffic controller shortage. I just think it's crazy because I think like, I don't know a lot of people who are like, I tried to be an air traffic controller, but oddly, the way things lined up and everything that you were trying to do at the time, air traffic control was on the radar.
Maybe I joined the class action lawsuit, and sometime in May, I have some kind of financial prosperity.
Lucas can get 6 cents out of this class action lawsuit.
Yeah, because they're going to be like, what did you do after that? I'm like,
Okay.
oh, I just went and got a job somewhere else and worked. And they're like, you're fine then, right? And I'm like, technically. But my life could have been better if you gave me that job.
The real challenge of all of this is Lucas having to break into his Gmail from 2010
Yeah, that's the hard part, dude.
to be able to break into his usajobs.gov.
Man, hackers had easier times than I did trying to get into that email.
It'd be funny if like it was actually easier to just hack into your email than
To get the password back and
to
re-log
get
in.
into it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So of that revisit of the past, hopefully there will be more prosperity. Hopefully there will be more creativity. Hopefully there will be more than 6 cents to a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
In other news, I tried to register for a jiu-jitsu tournament and I could not.
Because she's Filipino and was declined. No, I'm just joking.
No, that wasn't it. I had been removed by my gym on my registration. And then I registered with a new team. The professor approved it. I got the confirmation of approval. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'll just like register because there's 2 like price increments where it like goes up and it was already going to be the most money. And it wasn't closed out yet. I think it was like 89% full or 91% full or something like that. It was close, but it was like, okay, we can like wait till the last day. So I remember looking at it and everything was fine. My account was fine. I go on the last day and I see this like notification that I couldn't register. And I assumed that it was closed. But then I went to go like a couple days later, register for Memphis because I was like, okay, well, I'll just do Memphis instead. Also, by the way, Memphis is like 6 hours from Atlanta. I didn't know that. I thought it was 3. So I was like looking at Memphis and I saw the same thing. And I was like, there's no way. I checked and it was like still going to be open. And then I realized that what the alert actually said was that my account was suspended and I had to contact them because there was a penalty and pendency on it. And pendency is like the word for suspension, or because I had to look it up. I was like, what the hell does that mean? And so I messaged them and I was like, what is up with this? And they're like, oh, we've removed it. And then I was like, is this normal? And they're like, well, this happened because you were removed from a gym. And then when you register under a new team, we lift it.
You were specifically removed from a gym instead of you just moving to another gym.
But because my registration had been approved several days before this, I don't know if it was like IBJJF was supposed to remove it then and the person who processed and approved the new thing just like didn't pull something off. Basically, all my friends have not had this problem either because it like hadn't happened or because like nobody had actually removed them. They just registered with a new team. So all this to say, if I hadn't been removed for no reason, because I was going to register under another team anyway, I probably wouldn't have had a suspension that I had to clear via email and a whole 3.5 day process.
Yep.
That also cost me being able to register for the Open. So now my option is to possibly go to Memphis and go against a girl I have won against on multiple occasions by a lot. Or I could go down 2 age divisions and up 1 weight class, 15 pounds, and go against 2 random girls at my belt level that are heavier and 15 years younger than me. So, and I could drive 6 hours for this experience.
Pass.
And I could do it in the gi, which I was already cuspy on for the Atlanta Open because I haven't trained in the gi that much this year. So we'll get the next one if nothing in my life changes drastically between now and like having something within 3 hours away. But it's not looking great for Memphis. I was also like, okay, maybe I'll go travel with a teammate. He's like, I looked, there's nobody in my division, like at all. And mine is just as, this feels like one of those.
I had a question.
Huh?
When you go to super heavy, do they weigh you?
The heaviest one?
Yeah. They just go, yeah.
I think they like weigh everybody.
Why would you weigh them?
That's a great question.
Because you're like, it doesn't matter if you could be fucking 800 pounds and you still be like, yeah, you made weight.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like everybody's got to stand on the scale. But it is weird that it's basically the absolute division of the divisions.
Yeah. Well, of that age.
Yeah. Well, open class doesn't weigh because you weighed earlier that day. But it's just interesting that, if there's no weight limit, do you even have to weigh?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I see what I mean.
Lucas is now in that category.
Super heavy.
And before he had been ultra, medium heavy. Medium heavy. And he was able to like drink beer the day before because he had so much space. Well, this was crazy. If you never have cut weight, you never worry about it. Because I didn't cut weight for like all of white belt, and I never worried about it. And then I was with a coach who really promoted weight cutting for same day, which if you've ever watched any of the nutritionists and all the information out there, they do not recommend that.
Yeah.
And after that, it's like, even if you know you're well within your weight, it's like you're not going to go over on average, like eating canned foods, drinking electrolytes, doing all the things. Like you actually don't really have to worry about it. You still think about it in the way that you did when you were cutting weight, where you're like, cause I was like, okay, well, if I do salty things and like sardines, which sardines are healthy for you, it's the poor man's salmon. And like, I like, because it's canned, I was like, okay, I started to know exactly how much stuff would make my weight fluctuate.
Yeah.
The weight fluctuations are a lot smaller when you're at your walking weight than if you like purposefully like starved and dehydrated yourself down 8 pounds. It's like you drink 2 sips and you go up a pound. You're like, your body's hanging on to everything.
Yeah.
So it like operates differently. But I just remember one time, like the very first time I ever competed, there was nobody in my weight class that I would have to like cut a pound for or watch my weight. So I just registered for the division that had like 5 girls in it. And I'm eating breakfast. I didn't think about that. Everybody else is like talking about weight cut. I was like, this is so weird. And I'm in that weight class again. But the way that I think about it is back from the time that I was cutting weight. So I definitely highly recommend don't get into that. Yeah. Because it's just like a kind of mindset that like if you never had to worry about it before, it's kind of stupid that now you worry about something that you shouldn't. That's all mental, because you wouldn't have to like worry about that again. So I don't know when I'm going to compete again. I should look into new breeds because I have a voucher that's just been chilling in my account for like 8 months or something like that.
If you're competing in any field, Jupiter and Capricorn can provide a strong boost to your efforts. Here's how it may influence your competitive endeavors. Enhanced determination, strategic thinking, resourcefulness. What else is there?
I can't believe you just looked up.
Recognition and success, networking and support, and increased confidence.
This man just looked up a horoscope for competition.
I'm just asking Copilot, which is like the Microsoft Edge's
version of
AI, yeah.
That's crazy. Well, hopefully, peace and prosperity to everybody. I hope you enjoyed this solo episode. And tune in next week. We'll be back. This was so fun. Lucas is laughing because he's like, I actually might believe this new religion.
Maybe. I'll play the lottery in May, and if I win,
He's going to play the lottery every day.
In May. Every day in May.
Yeah, and you know what? We won't tell anyone.
But there will be signs.
Meaning this podcast might be over.